Dear brothers, welcome back again. Book of from Kenya, Nairobi. Ani Hezron Evans nimeodre hakirotka through Injili ya milele ya Asho Messiah as well as the Messianic Daval Show. Welcome and may Yahweh do you good as you continue bearing with us in Injili ya milele ya Asho Messiah, the Messianic Daval Show, as also Facebook pages. We have the Messianic Daval Show, Victor Kiiru, and also we have Yahweh Sacred Assembly. Don't hesitate to ask any question and how you feel about the journey through the scriptures. Don't forget to subscribe, to share, and also to comment. Thank you. I'll be your host, Hezron Evans. Yahweh do you good and bless you. In this episode, we are in the book of Ecclesiastes, or as it is known, QOHELETH. QOHELETH, we are there. QOHELETH chapter number 1, verse number 1. The words of QOHELETH, son of David, sovereign of Jerusalem. Fertility, fertility, says QOHELETH, fertility, fertility, all is fertile. What does man gain from all his labor, which he toils under the sun? Generation passes away and the generation comes, but the earth stands forever. The sun also rises and the sun goes and hurries back to the place where it arose, going to the south and turning around to the north, turning and also its round. The wind returns, and the rivers run into the sea, and in the sea never overflows to the place over which the rivers come. They return again, and the matters of Harrison, no one is able to speak of it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with the hearing. What has been is what shall be, and what has been done is shall be done, and there is none new under the sun. Is there a matter which is this, which it is said, see, this is new, it is as already long ago. There is no remembrance of the former ones, and now there is many remembrance of those that are to come by those who come later. I, QOHELETH, was sovereign over Israel in Jerusalem, and I applied my heart to the sick and to search about my wisdom concerning all that has been done under the Shamaim. This evil task Elohim has given to the sons of men, and be humbled by it. And I have seen all the works of all done under the sun, and see as fertile and feeding wind, and the crooked could not be straightened. What is lacking could be counted. So I spoke of my heart and saying, see, I have attained greatness and have gained more wisdom than all those who before me in Jerusalem, and my heart has been seen much wisdom and knowledge. And I applied to my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I know that is too, this is feeding on wind. And for in much wisdom is much grief, and he who increases knowledge increases suffering. QOHELETH chapter number 2, verse number 1. The word of Yahweh says in QOHELETH chapter number 2, I said in my heart, come and now let me try you, rejoicing and find on what is good, but see that was too fertile. And I said, laughter, it is madness, and of rejoicing, what to eat, what does it do? I searched in my heart how to stimulate my body with wine, while guarding my heart with wisdom, and how to hold on folly, until I could see what good for the sons of men to do under the Shamaim, and all the days of their lives. I made my work great, and I will build myself houses, and I planted vineyards for myself. I made gardens and parks myself, and planted and all kinds of fruit trees in them, and made pools of the water myself, and made them and them plantation for the growing trees. I brought the male and female servants, and came to have sons and of the households, and also the greater possession hosts of the flocks, and then all who are before me in Jerusalem. And I also gathered for myself silver and gold in the treasure of sovereign and the provinces. I provide male and female singers in myself, and the pleasures of men and woman. Thus I became great and increased more than all who were before me in Jerusalem, and also wisdom remained in me, and all that my eyes desired did not keep from them. I did not withhold my heart from any pleasure, for my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion from all my labor. But when I looked on all the works of my hands had done, and labor in which I toiled, see, and all was fertile and feeding on wind, and there was no gain under the sun. And I turned myself and took wisdom and madness and folly, for what would man do for when it comes after the sovereign that was already had been gone. Then I saw that wisdom is better than folly, is righter than right is better than darkness. The wise own eyes are in his head, but the folly walks in darkness, and also knew that one event befalls them all, and I said in my heart, as the event of the folly even so it befalls me, and why I was the more wise. Then I said in my heart, this also is fatal, for there is no more lasting remembrance of the wise than the fool, since the days are come in all forgotten. And how does a wise man die? With a fool. And I hated life, because of the work as done under the sun was evil on me, for all the fertile and feeding on wind, and I hated all my labor in which I have toiled under the sun, because I leave it to a man who will come after me, and who knows whether he is wiser or foolish. Yet he shall rule over all my labor, in which I toiled, in which I have shown myself wise under the sun, that too is fertile. So I turned my heart and despaired all of the labor of which I toiled under the sun, for a man might labor in wisdom, knowledge, and skill, yet have he leaves his heritage to a man who has not labored for it. That is too is fertile, and great evil, for what does a man get of all his labor and retain his heart with which he has toiled under the sun? For all his days are suffering, and his work grievous, even the night, and his heart takes no rest. That too is fertile. A man could do no better but eat and drink and enjoy himself in his labor. That I saw was from the hand of Elohim. But for who is out which finds enjoyment without him? For he is given wisdom and knowledge and joy on a man, and who is given good in his eyes. But to the sinner he gives a task of the gathering and collecting, and to give to the good before Elohim. That too is fertile and feeding on wind. The book of QOHELETH, chapter number 3, verse number 1, verse number 1. The word of Yahweh says, to all there is appointed time, even time for every pursuit under the Shamayim, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to throw away stones and a time to gather stones, and a time to embrace, at a time to refrain from embracing, and a time to seek and a time to lose, and a time to keep and a time to throw away, and a time to tear and a time to sue, and a time to be silent and a time to speak, and a time to love and a time to hate, and a time for battle and a time for peace. What does the worker gain for his toil? For I have seen that the task of Elohim has given the sons of men, being humbled by it. He has given it all pretty. It has them, even the ages he has put in their hearts, except that no one finds out the work that Elohim does from beginning to the end. I know that there is no good for them but rejoice and to do good in their lives, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy and good and his labor. It is all the gift of Elohim. I know that whatever Elohim does is forever. There is no one adding to it, and there is no one take it from it. Elohim does that men should revere before him. Whatever is already has been and shall be and has been before, but Elohim seeks of what has been pursued. Then again I saw under the sun, it is the praise of righteousness, wickedness was there, and in the wickedness, in the praise of righteousness, wickedness was there. I said in my heart, Elohim judges the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time for every matter and for every work. I said in my heart concerning the matter of the sons of men, Elohim examines them to see if they indeed they are beasts, for the event of the sons of men is also to the event of the beast, or an event befalls them. As one dies, as also the other dies, and indeed they have all one breath, and man has no advantage over the beast, for all fertile, all going to one place, and all coming from dust to dust, and all return to dust. Who knows the spirit of son of men which goes upward, and the spirit of the one of the beast which goes down to the earth? So I saw that man could do no better but to rejoice in his own work, for that is in the portion for who will bring back to see what shall be after him. The book of QOHELETH, chapter number 4, verse number 1. Welcome. Remember to subscribe and to comment and to share. Yahweh do you good and balak you as you continue watching Injili ya Milele Yahshua Messiah, as well as the Messianic Daval Show. Chapter number 4. Then I looked again at all the operation that is done under the sun, and see, The tears of the oppressed, that they have no comforter and power. And the other side of the oppressed, but they have no comforter. And therefore I commanded the dead, who are already dead, more than the living who are still alive, and the better than those is who has never existed, who has not seen the evil work that has done under the sun. And I saw that all the toil and still of the work bring envy between man and his neighbor. That too is fertile and free, feeding on wind. The fool folds his sons and consumes his own flesh. Better than his hand is filled with the rest, and both of hands are filled with toil and feeding wind. And then I looked and again at fertility under the sun. There is no one without a second, who is neither the son the brother, and there is no one end of all his neighbors, and he is also not satisfied with riches, and for whom I am toiling and depriving myself of good. That too is fertility, and as evil task two are better than one, because there are good reward for the labor. For if they fall, of its leaves or companion up, and but woe to him who is alone when he falls, for he has no one to help him up. So also if two lie together, they keep warm, but he does not one keep warm, although one might be overpowered. Two withstand him, and threefold cord is not readily broken. A poor and wise youth, better than an old and foolish sovereign, with no longer knows how to take warning. For he comes out of prison, be sovereign, although in the reign of was born poor. And I have seen the living who walk under the sun. They with the second youth on the stand of his people, on his praise. There is no end of all the people, and all that came before them, but the ones who came after them do not rejoice in him. That too is fertile and feeding of wind. The book of QOHELETH, chapter number 5. Guard your steps when you go into the house of Yahweh Elohim, and draw near to listen, rather than to give the slaughtering of fools, for they know that they do evil. Do not be hasty with your mouth. Let your heart hurry to bring forth the word before Elohim, for Elohim is in the IMYM, and you are on earth. Therefore let your words be few. For a dream comes through the greatness of task, and the fullness of the voice is known by the many words. When you make a vow to Elohim, do not dare to repay it, for he takes no pressure in the fools. Pay that which you have vowed. It is better not to vow than to vow and not to pay. Do not allow your mouth to cause your flesh to sin, nor say before the messenger of Elohim that it was a mistake. Why should Elohim be low that your voice and destroy the work of your hands? For is much dreaming, and many of your words is fertility, but revere Elohim. And you see the oppression of the poor, and the denial of right ruling, and righteousness, and the promise, and the astonished at the matter. For higher than the high of guarding, and there is higher ones over the increase of the land. As for all the sovereigns himself served for the field, he who loves silver is not satisfied with silver, and he is not with wealthy increase. That too is fertile with the increase of the goodness. There is increase of those consuming them. What advantage there is there to the owners, but to look on? Sweet is the sleep of the laborer, whether he eats little or much. Be plenty of the rich, but does not let him sleep. There is risk, secret evil I have seen under the sun. Riches kept for their owner, for his evil. But those riches perish through evil use, and he brings forth the son, and there is not and his sons. And he came naked from the mother's womb, so he returns, goes and as he came, and from his labor which goes into the hand, and he takes none whatsoever. And this is to his grievous evil, exactly as he came, as he goes, and what gain has he since he toiled from the wind? All his days as also is in the darkness, and this is much sorrows of and sickness and wrath. See what I have seen. It is good and pleasant for one to eat and drink, and to enjoy the good of all his labor, and to which he stands under the sun, and all the days of his life, which Elohim gives to him, for it is his portion. Further, when Elohim has given any man riches and wealth, and permitted him to enjoy them, and to receive the portion and rejoice in his labor, this is a gift of Elohim. Though it did not be much, and let remember the days of the life, much Elohim bear the witness of the greatness of heart. QOHELETH chapter number 6, verse number 1. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, and is greater among men. A man to whom Elohim has given riches and wealth, and esteem to those being rags, none of all that he desires, but Elohim does not permit him to eat of it, and a foreigner consume it. This is fertile, and it is evil, a disease. If a man brings forth 100 and rise and many years, so that the days of his years are many, both his being is not satisfied with goodness, or indeed he has no value. I say that a premature birth is better than he, for it comes in fertility, goes away in darkness, and in darkness its name covered. even the sun, it has seen it and no more rest than the man, and though he lives as 1,000 years twice over, yet he shall not see the goodness, not all they will go to one place, and all the labor of man it's for his mouth, and yet the appetite of is not satisfied. For with advantage has the wise over the fool. What does the poor have who knows how to walk before the living? What the eyes see is better than the desire goes after, that too is so fertile and feeding on wind, and whatever shall he is already being named, and it shall known that the Son of Man he is unable to contend him who is mightier than he. The more words, the more the fertility, that is the advantage to man. For he who knows what is good for man is life, and all the days of his fertile life. What is passes is like the shadow. For who declares to man what he shall be better after him under the sun. The book of QOHELETH, chapter number 7, verse number 1. A name is better than precious oil, and the day of death than the day of the birth. It is better to go in the house of mourning than to go in the house of feasting. On that is the end of all men, and the living take it to heart, and sorrow is better than laughter, and for sadness for the face and the heart become better. The heart of the wise is the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is the house of rejoicing. It is better to hear to rebuke on the otherwise for the man to hear the songs of foolish. For as the cracking of thorns under a pot, of the throat of the fool, that too is fertile. For oppression make a wise one mad, and bribe destroys the heart. The end of the matter is better than its beginning. The patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Do not be hasty in your spirit to be provoked, for rather is rest for the bosom of fools. Do not say, they were the former days for better than these. For it is not wise to you have to be asked about these. Wisdom is good than inheritance, and an advantage to those who see the sun. For wisdom as ways of silver protects the advantage of the knowledge of the wisdom to gives high, and to those who have it. Seek the work of Elohim, for who is able to make the straight what he has made crooked. Be glad in the day of prosperity, but in the day of take note of the Elohim has also appointed, and the one who was as well as others, so that the man should not uncover whatever is after him. And I have seen it all my days fertility. There is a righteous man perishing in righteousness, and the wicked is a wicked one living long is his evil. Do not be over righteous, neither be otherwise. Why destroys yourself? Do not be increasingly wicked and to the full, but why do you die before your time? It is good that you should take hold of this, and also take with hold for your hand and for the other. For he who reveres Elohim comes forth with all of them. Wisdom makes the wise strong, and more than the rulers and in the city. For there is not a righteous man on earth who does good and does not sin. And do not take to heart the words they speak, lest you hear your servant cursing you. For you know in your heart that many times you have cursed others, and all the times I have proved by wisdom, and I am wise, but it was far from me. That which is far off and exceedingly deep, who can find it? And I have turned round even my heart, I know, and is such, and is to seek of wisdom and conclusion, to know the weakness of folly, even foolishness and madness. And I found more bitter than the death, and woman whose heart is snares, and death whose sons are the circles. He who praises Elohim escaped from her, but the sinners is captured by her. See, I have found, says QOHELETH, one by one to find conclusion, which I being still six, and I have not found. I have found one man among 1,000, but a woman among all this I have not found. Truly, this only I have found, that Elohim made man straight, but they have sought out to marry to many devices. Ecclesiastes chapter number 8, verse number 1. Who is like a wise man? Wise one who knows that the meaning of a matter. A man's wisdom makes the face shine in the hardness of his face, and changed and regard the sovereign's command, and because of the oath before Elohim. Do not be in a hurry to go from his presence, and do not take a stand in an evil matter, for he does whatever he pleases. Where the word of the sovereign is, there the power. Who says to him, what are you doing? He who guards the command, and he knows no evil matter, and the heart of the wise discerns both time and right doing. Because for every matter there is a time and right doing, though the trouble of a man is heavy upon him, for he does not know what shall be. So who declares to him when it shall be? No one has power over to the spirit to retain the spirit, and no one has power in the day of the death, and there is no distance for the battle, and the wickedness does not release those who are given to it. All this I have seen. I pray to my heart to every work that is done under the sun. There is a time which man rules over a man for his evil. And so I saw the wicked buried, and they came and they went for the place of Kodeshah, and they were forgotten in the city where they had done so, so that this is too fertile, because the sentence against the evil and dead is executed speedily. Therefore the heart of the sons of the men is filled with do evil. Although a sinner is doing evil 100 times and it's prolonged, yet I know that there is good to those who revere Elohim, who have reverence before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, nor with the prolong the days of the shadow, because he does not revere before Elohim. There is fertility which has been on earth, and that is the righteous ones who get according to the deeds of the wicked, and there are the wicked ones getting according to the deeds of the righteous. I say that once these two are fertile, therefore I praise enjoyment, because there is no God to man except to eat and to drink and to rejoice and to remain with him in his labor for the days of his life which Elohim has given him under the sun. When I gave my heart to know wisdom and to see the task which has been done on the earth, even though one sees no sleeps on day or night, then I saw all the work of Elohim, that a man is able to find the work that one has been done under the sun. For though the man labors to seek, yet he does not find, and even though a wise one claims to know, he is unable to find them. Ecclesiastes chapter number 9, verse number 1. For all this I took to heart, even to search out of all this, that the righteous and the wise and their deeds in the hand of Elohim, no man knows whether to love nor hated awaits. It's the same for all, one event of the righteous and the wicked, and the good and the clean to the unclean, and the one slaughtering and to the one not slaughtering, as the one who is good and the sinner, and the one swearing and the one fearing his soul. This is an evil that is in all is done is under the sun, and there is none event to all. Truly the heart of the sons of men are filled with evil, and the madness is their hearts, while they live and they live to death. But for him who is joined to all the living, then he is trust for the living dog better than a dead lion. For the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not, nor do they have any more reward. For the remembrance is forgotten, as they are loved and they are hated, and they are envy have now perished, and they no longer have a share, and all it's done under the sun. Go eat your bread with joy and drink wine and be glad in heart, and Elohim is already approved your work. Let your garments be white in all times, and let your head lack no oil. See, life with wife whom you love all the days of your life, which he has given you under the sun, all your days and fertility, for that is your share in life, and in your toil, for you have labored under the sun, and all your hand finds to do it your might. For there is no work or planning or knowledge or wisdom in grave where you are going. And again I saw that under the sun, that the race is not to the swift, not to the battle, to the might, not even to the battle, to the wise, not even to the riches, to men of understanding, not to the favor of them, to the knowledge. For time and chance meets them with them all. For even man knows that his time, like a fish taken in an evil net, and even like the birds caught in a snare, and the sons of men are snared in the evil time, when it comes down to them suddenly. Also this I saw a wisdom under the sun, and it's great to me, a little city, and a few men in it. And a great sovereign came against and besieged it, and he built a huge siege works against it. And there was found in it a poor wise man, and by his wisdom delivered the city, yet one no remembrance to the poor man. I said, wisdom is better than might, but the wisdom of the poor man is despised, and his words are not heard. The words of the wise spoken, calmly should he be heard, rather than his shout of a ruler of fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of conflict, but the sinner destroys much good. Ecclesiastes chapter number 10. Dead flies make the perfume so intimate, stink fragments, and like foray overweight. Wisdom is steam, and wise man's heart is at his right hand, but fool's heart is his left. And also when a fool walks along, the way his heart is lacking, and he shows everyone that he is a fool, the spirit of the ruler raises against you. Do not leave your post for comeliness, and raise your great faults. There is an evil that I have seen under the sun, as a mistake coming from the ruler. Foray is to put many heights, while the rich is in his tumble praise. I have seen servants of horses, rulers walking on the ground like servants, and who digs a pit falls into it, and whoever breaks through the wall is bitten by a snake, and he who quarries a stone is hurt by them. He who splits wood is endangered by it, and if an iron tool is blunt, and one does not sharpen the edge, then he needs more strength and wisdom in advantages and to make it right. Then the snake bites without enchantment, and the master of the tongues is no better. Words of a wise man who show favor to the lips of the fool swallow him up. In the beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end is talk and madness, and fool increases to the words, and man who knows that he shall come to be declares to him who shall be after him. The labor of the fool is weariness in them, because of to know one how to go to the city. Woe to you, O land of the sovereign of you, the rulers of the feast and the morning, but of you, O land of the sovereign of the sons of the nobles, and your rulers feast of your due decision, for the strength of your drunkenness, because of the readiness of framework trembles, and though idleness and hard is the leaks, and the feast is made laughter, and the wine grandness rife, and the silver answers all. Do not cast over rain, even in your thought. Do not cast the rich even in the bedroom, for the bird of the Shamayim conveys the voice of a bird, and the flight it makes the matter known. The book of QOHELETH, chapter number 11. Send your bread out on the face of the waters, and after the many days you shall find it, and give the portion to the seven, and also to the heightened, for you do not know the evil time might be on earth. The clouds and the field with rain, and you empty themselves upon the earth, and the tree falls to the south and to the north, and the way the tree falls, there it is. He watches the winds, and who looks at the clouds and not trip, and you know that the wind and how the bones of the womb, and it is with you do not know the works of Elohim, who makes all. Your seed is the morning until the evening, and not the hand of the rest. Since you do not rate the way prosper in that, and whether the like they are good, the sweet also in the light, and in good in the eyes of the sea of the sun, and even the man dips in the years of the rejoice on them all, but they remember in the days of the darkness, for they are many. That is coming the fertility, rejoice, your young man, in your youth, for let your heart glad in your days, and also you walk in the ways of your heart in the sight and the eyes of you know that this Elohim brings you into the right ruling. Therefore remove all from your heart, and put away all evil from your flesh, for youth and you are done of life and fertility. Remember Ecclesiastes chapter number 12. Remember also you are created in the days of your youth, before the days come to you, and your ideas draw near, when you say, I have no pleasure in them, before the sun and the light and the moon and the stars darken the clouds and return, and after rain, and in the day of the gods on the house of the temple, and the strong men shall go down, and the graders shall cease because of the fear, and those who look on those, and they shall become in the doors and be shut in the streets, and sound the grading in straw. One rises up in the sound of the bride and the daughters of the song about the furthermore they are afraid of the high of the rope races in the way of the almond tree blossoms, and grasshopper becomes a burden. Desire perishes, for a man is going to everlasting home, and the mourners of gold shields, and before the silver is according to those who have golden and broken, and the jar of Satan, the fountain of the broken, and the well and the dust, and shall return to his dust. The spirit returns to Elohim. He gave it fertility, and said, QOHELETH, the soul fertility, beside being QOHELETH, and also told the people of the knowledge, and he listened and to sought in the land. In the Proverbs, QOHELETH sought to find the words of diligence, the words of the truly rightly written to the words of the wise are like the gods, and are noised and driven to the matters correction, and given to the shepherds. And besides them, my son, be warned, and making and many books of no end, and many study of wearing of them the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion, the entire of the matter. Elohim, the way Elohim and God his commandments, for this is to all duty mankind. For Elohim shall bring every work into light ruling, including all that is hidden, whether good or evil. Shalom. Peace and love unto you, my people. It has been the episode of QOHELETH, the book of QOHELETH. We have come to the end from chapter 1 all the way to chapter number 12. May Yahweh do you good. Thank you for watching. This is Injili ya Milele Yahshua Messiah, and also don't forget to tune into our YouTube channel, as well as the Messianic Daval Show. Yahweh do you good, and Balak you as well. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.